Hey, Jaryn, how you doing? All right, let's go ahead and take a look. I've got your examples up right here. Okay, and I think you've got a pretty good start going on here. Let's go ahead and take a look at each one. And of course, this week we're talking about emphasis and contrast, right? So we'll be commenting primarily on emphasis and contrast, but I'll also talk about a couple of other things where I think we could have some improvement. I think it's a really good idea to use left alignment for the contact information. I think that and one of the reasons for that is that left alignment definitely does a better job of establishing a good, solid firm left margin so that you can work your way down the contact information. After coming to the end of the line, it's much easier to find the new line of type with a left aligned margin as opposed to center alignment. Also, center alignment doesn't do much to activate negative space. So I think that was a really good decision here. So based on the criteria that we're looking for, and that is emphasis and contrast. So we've got some good contrast as far as color goes, the type on the background color. That's good. So we have good color contrast. I think the informational hierarchy could be improved a little bit with more contrast based on scale and grouping. Let me tell you what I mean. Okay, so we have rustic rooster renovations. Okay, then you have contact information, name, phone, email. All are the basic same size as the title. So it's a little bit of diminished hierarchy here and a little bit of diminished contrast based on scale because this should be the largest. It's the most important thing. And then contact information should be a little bit smaller from there. And then over here we have the same thing. Like there's no hierarchy based on this whole contact information here. And basically it's because they're all the same scale and the same weight. Let me show you a really good example of some nicely formatted contact information right here. That's really nice because it's a different color and it's a different grouping, indicating that this stuff is all related, but not necessarily tightly related to this. It is related, of course, it's in the same composition, but this is contact information, this is name information, and this is the byline, the tagline. Okay, so you can see how everything's kind of separated in groups. We can see the same thing here. Here's the name and the tagline, telephone number, and the contact information. There's three very separate and distinct groups here, and that really helps to establish hierarchy. Okay, so the other thing I would mention here is that in the second two cards, I think the first one is probably the best example, though I think the contact information size of that type is too large. So there's no real contrast based on the size and scale of the title area and the size and scale of the contact information area. These hierarchy can be improved a little bit here it would make sense to place the name of the company on the top of the business card, and that's it, because that's the most important thing, right? So name on top and then contact information. Or maybe even just the name of the company on top, a tagline, the name of the individual whose card it is, then their contact information, and each one forming a little subgroup on its own to further emphasize contrast by grouping and proximity. Okay, so otherwise, I think you've done a good job. I think that the hierarchy could be improved a little bit by creating more various contrasts in the scale. Okay, all right, so good start. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. Thank you very much.